If you are involved in a transvaginal mesh or TVM lawsuit, you may be wondering why lien resolution is necessary. Our team at Shapiro Settlement Solutions is here to walk you through the whole process, every step of the way. Lien resolution is a vital part of a lawsuit, but it's often misunderstood. This is what you need to know. The settlement of your TVM claim cannot be completed until all governmental and possibly private healthcare liens have been resolved. What this means is that if Medicare, Medicaid, or other governmental agencies have made any payment towards the injuries specified in your case, then they have a legal right to reimbursement out of the TVM settlement. Private companies are a different situation, since they may or may not have this right, depending on the specifications of the individual plans. Overseeing these rights and reimbursements can be a complicated task, and that's where S3 comes in. We are hired to administer a program to negotiate and resolve liens being asserted in connection with the TVM litigation.
Because of their scope, TVM lawsuits involve thousands of individual beneficiaries, and negotiating each Medicare lien individually is inefficient and expensive. That's why S3 utilizes a global arrangement with Medicare to efficiently resolve its interest in a manner that is favorable to the beneficiaries. By resolving the liens in bulk, S3 gets the beneficiaries the best deal from Medicare and avoids the drawn-out process of individual negotiation. This program will satisfy both Medicare Parts A and B reimbursement obligations and ensure continued coverage for TVM-related treatments.
Unlike traditional Medicare, which is Parts A and B, Medicare Part C is a supplemental insurance administered through a private insurance company. Due to recent case history, Medicare Part C plans are now often entitled to the same reimbursement rights as traditional Medicare. Additionally, Part C plans tend to have stronger support for their reimbursement rights, making it more difficult to reduce the liens through the use of anti-subrogation laws and other traditional routes. Fortunately, S3's PLRP plan extends to many of the companies administering Medicare Part C plans. This means that our system of automatic caps and reductions often applies, as well as the provision applying the cap to the total amount of all liens. This provides a huge advantage to the client, since the PLRP allows S3 to quickly resolve liens with substantial reductions that could potentially be a time-consuming and difficult process otherwise.
S3 also resolves Medicaid liens by first verifying whether or not a claimant was on Medicaid benefits between the TVM implant date through settlement. For those who are verified, we review and audit their claim histories one by one to confirm that only claims related to injuries from the mesh device are included in the lien amount. Following this process also ensures that Medicaid's reimbursement interest has been addressed so that future Medicaid benefits will not be denied due to a failure to resolve Medicaid's legal right. And as always, we vigorously negotiate reductions with the state agencies.
In the case that any beneficiaries received benefits under the VA, TRICARE, Department of Defense, or Indian Health Services, S3 will resolve their interest on the beneficiary's behalf as well. This information is vital because S3 can only resolve these liens once the beneficiary's attorney notifies us. Therefore, it is extremely important that we are notified as soon as possible.
Of course, liens aren't only from governmental agencies. Private health insurance plans may also have a right to reimbursement from the settlement if they have made payments in reference to TVM-related injuries. Depending on the terms of the health insurance contract and your settlement, there may or may not be an obligation to notify the private health insurers of the claims or details of the settlement. If your health insurance plan has already notified you of a lien, it is imperative that your attorney is notified. If you have not been placed on notice, but resolving private liens is a mandatory feature of your settlement, there are two ways for S3 to resolve those liens.
A private lien resolution plan, or PLRP, is a way that S3 streamlines claims. Due to the high number of claimants, we have been authorized to administer a program to negotiate the claims that may be asserted by private health insurers. A large number of private insurers have chosen to participate in this arrangement. The advantages of this arrangement include automatic and significant reductions and caps on amounts that can be recovered, waiver of certain lien claims for settlements below a certain amount, and strict confidentiality regarding claimants and the terms of the arrangement. The arrangement was established to efficiently address and resolve private healthcare liens in a manner that is likely to be favorable to the affected claimants. In addition, because the settling TVM parties have already authorized S3 to administer the arrangement, we are perfectly positioned to negotiate favorably and efficiently thousands of TVM-related liens. As you can see, there is a tremendous built-in advantage to this arrangement. It only makes sense that the insurers are inclined and in fact eager to reach more favorable agreements with people they do lots of business with, as compared to an attorney who is attempting to negotiate a single case. From the perspective of the insurer, the advantages in accepting significant caps and submitting to other pro-claimant measures are more than offset by the efficiency, cost, and other advantages it receives from settling thousands of claims in one fell swoop.
S3 certifies that only legitimate claims are included in the TVM litigation through the private lien resolution process. Much like the resolution of Medicaid claims, we begin by reviewing the claims that the private health insurer is attempting to collect, and then removing any claims that are not related to the TVM litigation, thus arriving at the agreed lien amount. Once the related amount has been determined, the participating insurers have agreed to an automatic reduction of the amount. In addition to the reduction, the insurers have agreed to cap all private liens at a certain percentage of the gross settlement amount. Why are caps so important? They protect the claimants in the event of sizable and unmanageable liens and/or limited settlements. The lien cap ensures that a private healthcare lien will never eat up the settlement, which maximizes the client's net recovery. Without these contractually guaranteed reductions and caps, private health insurers may be able to pursue the entire amount of their liens and refuse to negotiate altogether, even if the net effect is that the insurer receives an otherwise unacceptably high percentage of the settlement. In the event that TVM-related charges were paid by multiple participating insurers, the lien caps and reductions would apply to all of the liens. In other words, the participating insurers would have to further divide any breakdowns of lien amounts due, consistent with the reductions and caps discussed previously. Therefore, the sum of all participating private liens can never exceed the capped lien amount.
We understand that TVM lien resolution can be a confusing process, but it doesn't have to be. When you entrust S3 with your claims, we handle them from start to finish in just 4 steps. Here's how it works. Step 1, intake. S3 receives the list of clients with necessary demographic information and a description of the injury. Step 2, Medicare Global Resolution. Claimants are submitted to Medicare, which verifies if claimants are beneficiaries and when they went on benefits. Then, S3 separates categories of treatment that helps determine the expected average cost to Medicare. Once that amount is reached, we apply a reduction for attorney's fees and case expenses and finalize the clients as a group. Step 3, Medicaid Lien Resolution. S3 contacts the Medicaid offices for verification of the claimant's enrollment. Next, we request itemized lists of claims for those on benefits and audit the claims to remove unrelated charges. We then negotiate additional compromises or reductions for attorney fees and case expenses. Step 4, Private Lien Resolution. S3 contacts the private insurance plans to verify enrollment, then requests itemized claims list for those who are enrolled. We audit the claims to remove any unrelated charges and apply the reduction or cap depending on the size of the lien and the settlement. If there are multiple private insurance plans, we negotiate reductions so that the total of the private liens does not exceed the lien cap. If any private insurers that are not part of the arrangement assert a lien, we will audit their claims for unrelated charges and negotiate reductions or compromises for fees and expenses as necessary. Payment. Once all liens have been finalized, we send the necessary information on the final lien amounts and specify who must be paid. The process is now complete, and you can rest assured that S3 has handled every detail with the utmost care.